Hey there, Mr. Reddit here. Welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parent Stories. Our first story we'll be reading today. Karen refuses to pay for textbooks. After that, entitled couple threatens us with a lawsuit. After that, entitled mom calls me a liar when I tell her I don't work here. After that, I do work here. Now go wash the dishes. And after that, Karen orders salad, tells me she doesn't like it, and wants a free meal. Now Karen told me if we can get 1,000 likes on this video, she won't demand any more free meals for an entire week. So please smash that like button. And if you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications for new stories from Reddit every single day. And join as an official channel member today, and I'll give you a special shout out in our next video. Karen refuses to pay for textbooks. My kid has just started high school, and since it's the beginning of the school year in Australia, there's plenty of parents who are adjusting to how high school works. There's specific rules about pickup zones, no stopping zones, parking zones, etc., mainly to keep the kids safe when crossing the busy road outside the school. Enter entitled mom, who for the last few days has decided the rules don't apply to her. Entitled mom has a very large SUV and parks it squarely in the 2-minute drop-off zone, over 2 spaces I might add, at approximately 2:45 p.m., waiting there until her kid comes out after 3 p.m. I tend to arrive early and park off to the side and read a book, so I've been observing her arguing with the duty teacher every afternoon with amusement. Yesterday, I saw entitled mom's kid, clearly not new to high school, in the senior uniform, so I'm guessing that entitled mom is just a pain in the butt about parking in general. Until today, that is. I went into the office at 2:30 p.m. to pay some school fees and sort out some admin stuff. I was less than impressed when I saw that entitled mom was already at the counter, so I just sat down and waited. A side note here, we pay something called the resource scheme annually, which means the kids get up-to-date textbooks and reference material. This is non-negotiable, and a student really can't participate in schoolwork without this in place. Entitled mom was not shy about her displeasure about having to pay it. It seems that the scheme has gone up to $15 this year to allow for newer textbooks to be purchased. But entitled mom wasn't just upset about the extra $15. We've got entitled mother, we've got office lady, and we've got deputy principal. Entitled mom: "This is extortion. My daughter is taking the same subjects as last year. Why does she have to pay again?" Office lady: "The resource scheme is payable as part of the school fees to ensure your daughter gets access to the best reference material." "She doesn't need it. She got senior textbooks from the student who graduated last year, and she can just use those. I'm not paying it." Office lady: "Those textbooks were supposed to be returned. The student who sold them to her will be billed for those textbooks, and some of them are not being used this year. We have upgraded to new science textbook." "Extortion! There is nothing wrong with the old textbooks. You just want to make more money." Office lady: "Mrs. Entitled Mom, the new science textbook covers certain subjects in greater detail than the old one. Your daughter won't be able to complete classwork with an outdated textbook and will have the old ones confiscated." Entitled mom: "You'll steal them from her? To get more money? This is disgusting." Entitled mom continues to rant about things that are only barely related to textbooks until the deputy principal overhears and comes out of his office at the other end of the building. Deputy principal: "Mrs. Entitled Mom, what's the problem?" "This criminal is threatening to steal my daughter's textbooks." Principal looks at office lady, who just shrugs. "Mrs. Entitled Mom, the school participates in the resource scheme where the students return textbooks at the end of the year and are issued curriculum-appropriate texts for the new year. This ensures that all our students have access to—" "Oh, so I'm paying for other students." Entitled mom breaks off into another rant about how if parents can't afford books for their kids, they shouldn't be allowed into the school. It was at this point that the principal suggested they go and talk in his office. My transaction took about 10 minutes all up, and throughout it all, I could hear entitled mom tearing into the principal. After completing my business, I wander back out to my car to wait for my kid. At about 2:55 p.m., entitled mom comes storming out of the office and discovers a parking flyer under her windshield. Not an actual ticket, just a flyer that advises safe parking zones, etc. The duty teacher has a stash to give to new parents who aren't sure where to park when picking up/dropping off. I had the delightful opportunity to watch entitled mom lose her crap over a piece of paper until her daughter appeared and then drove off, exceeding the 40-kilometer-per-hour speed limit. Alas, if only the local police had been on patrol, it would have been the cherry on top of a very entitled Sunday. Do you think it's necessary to have an updated textbook every single year that students have to pay for? Please leave a comment letting me know. Next we've got Entitled Couple Threatens Us with a Lawsuit. Me again from the good old animal shelter. This one may tick some of you off, but I just want to preface by saying all I'm doing is reporting on what happened. As I've said before, animal shelters are magnets for the entitled, and this story is no different. Now this happened towards the end of last December. Our shelter got in what we refer to as a unicorn. That means we got a young French bulldog puppy. To a county animal shelter, this is extremely rare, as these dogs usually come from breeders or puppy stores and will go for up to $4,000 a pup. It's like finding a brand new Ferrari in a thrift store. Of course, the moment this dog is in our system, we have a line of people already wanting to adopt it. Now, our county shelter has a policy where we hold any stray animals for 72 hours to give any owners a chance to reclaim their lost pet before the pet becomes property of the county and we look to rehome them. The first day this Frenchie was in our shelter, we had 8 different families put their names on a list to adopt. Our shelter is a first-come, first-served shelter, so we would call the first name on the list, and if they didn't want the pup or couldn't take them, we would call the second, and so on and so on. Pretty much, these people were in a line to adopt this one pupper. Now, this story happened the last day of the stray hold period, before the dog was even ours to adopt out. 2 men walk in together. They are the entitled couple, eager to adopt a new pup for their new apartment they just moved into. So we've got the entitled couple and we've got me. Me. Hey there, how y'all doing? Entitled couple. Good, we are looking to adopt. Me. Awesome, dog or cat? Entitled couple. A dog, please. Me. Okay, and what kind of dog are you looking for? We would like a small dog, please. Well, I'll let you know we don't have any small dogs available, but I'll take y'all through the kennels and we'll see if any of our dogs catch your eye. I take them through the kennels, and of course, what we have the most of are pits and bully breeds that are usually not allowed in an apartment. I keep trying to ask them questions and show them dogs, but at this point, they're just ignoring me and talking to each other. Of course, as we walk through the kennel, they see the Frenchie, and that's when they lose it. Entitled couple. Oh my God, that's the one we want. Me. Oh, well, this little guy has a pretty long waiting list on him. I point to the sign on his kennel saying he already has adopters lined up for him. Entitled couple. No, we want him now. Me. Well, I can put your names on the list in case the other adopters aren't able to take him or don't want him. Entitled couple scoffs, and one rolls their eyes. No, we are not going on a list. We want him now. Me. Well, even if he didn't have adopters lined up already, he's still on the stray hold period, so we can't actually adopt him. I get cut off. Entitled couple. We want him now. Me. I can't give him to you. He's not ours yet. Cut off again. I don't care. Give him to us now. Me. No. At this point, I figure they are not gonna let me explain anything, so I just flat out say no. They both go quiet, look at each other. One smugly smiles and says, "He will be leaving with us by the end of the day." At that point, they walk out and leave the shelter. I walk back into the front office and tell the office staff what happened as they heard the yelling even over the dogs barking. We all kind of shrug it off as empty threats from crazy entitled people, stuff we're used to by now. An hour later, we get a call from the county's Human Resources office. Entitled couple called them and threw a fit, told them we are refusing to adopt to them because of discrimination, and that if they don't get the dog, they are suing and contacting the news. The higher-ups lose their crap and immediately give in to their demands. They tell us to give them the dog and not even charge an adoption fee. Shortly after that, in walks entitled couple with smug grins. We will be taking our baby. As the office staff hand over the French bulldog, they turn to me. Told you. They walk out with the dog in their arms. Now here's where the karma kicks in. French bulldogs, while cute, have extreme separation anxiety among some other not so favorable habits. They are great dogs if you take care of them. Entitled couple did not take care of the dog. Super Bowl weekend, and we are hosting a big adoption party for the shelter dogs. Basically a come in and adopt them please, for the love of God, we have no kennel space party. In walks entitled couple, upset and ranting and raving about how we adopted a monster out to them. Basically, both of them work, so the dog is left alone most of the day and made the most of his time destroying their apartment. They showed us pictures of the carpet that the landlord is now demanding they pay to replace, furniture ripped to pieces, stains in an expensive mattress they had to throw out. They demanded we take the dog back and reimburse them for the damage to their property. We take the dog back and tell them they are not getting reimbursed for anything. They scoff again and threaten to sue us until our front desk lady pulls out the adoption paperwork they signed at the time of the original adoption and said they are 100% responsible for the dog and the shelter is no longer responsible for the animal at the time of adoption. So even if they took us to court, they would have a bad time. They start losing their crap and say they'll call human resources again. I tell them that won't do them any good as they signed a legal contract, but they are welcome to try. They give me the smug smile again, call HR, and proceed to scream at the phone when they don't get their way. HR told them the same thing we did. They signed a contract, they took ownership of the dog, they're not getting crap, and the county has a lawyer on hand should they want to take this to court. At this point, they are completely defeated. I smile as they turn to walk out and say, "Told you." 2 days later, the pupper got adopted by an old lady who has 2 other Frenchies and spends all day of her retirement spoiling them. Speaking of dogs, what's your favorite dog breed of all time? Please leave a comment right now letting me know. Next we've got, Entitled Mom calls me a liar when I tell her I don't work here. Man, can't people just mind their own business? Well, for starters, I was wearing an all-black outfit and the staff outfit of that particular grocery store was red and white. So there's really no way to confuse me for an employee there. But anyways, I was a student at that time and didn't have a lot of money to spare, but I still loved snacks. So every time I went to buy some, I'd spend quite a while on deciding which options I would go for. This time, I decided to go for some bags of nachos with dip. So I took them and carried them towards the register, but on my way there, I saw another aisle that had a lot of different sugary snacks on sale. And of course, being able to save money, I decided to put back the nachos and buy more snacks for the same price. As I walked back into the salty snacks aisle, I looked through it to find the nachos I chose before so I could put them back where I found them. I'm just not the type to put things back where they don't belong. But then I start contemplating again. I initially came for the nachos, but the gummies are less expensive, so I'm standing there and evaluating my options. Yes, I am that serious about snacks. Then this lady walks up to me and asks me where she can find something or whatever. I didn't really hear her because I was listening to music, and also I thought maybe she was talking to someone else in the aisle, because why would she talk to a 6-foot-tall, goth-dressed teen with headphones over my ears? When suddenly she grabbed my arm and shook me a little to get my attention. She startled me, so I yanked off my headphones from my head and said, "What?" Well, not in the most polite way, but it was because she startled me. She then asked me why I ignored her. I was confused because I didn't know why I should be obligated to talk to her. Me, "Sorry, I couldn't hear you," gestured towards my headphones that were now in my hands, still being polite because I didn't know what she was going to ask me. Her, "You should not be listening to music while you're working," in the most disgusted, snobbish voice. Me, a little confused and already annoyed. Well, good thing I'm not working. With that, I proceeded to put my headphones back on, but she grabbed my wrist and dragged it away from my head. "How dare you ignore me?" Me, "I'm not obligated to listen or to talk to you. Now don't touch me again." Mind you, I don't like talking to strangers. It makes me nervous and annoys me. I can manage if you're polite, but dragging my arm? Oh, no. Her, "I'm going to tell your boss. You'll get fired for such behavior." Me, being an unemployed teen. "Lady, I don't work here. Would you leave me alone now?" Her, "Don't lie to me. I saw you put the chips back on the shelf." Me, looking visibly confused by her after a pause. "So?" Her, "So you work here? I saw you restock the shelves. I want to speak to your manager." Now. Me, shaking my head in disbelief. What, so am I not allowed to put my groceries back on the shelf if I change my mind? I don't work here. Her. You wouldn't be putting it back on the shelf. It belongs on if you didn't work here. Me. Well, not everyone is a jerk. Unlike you, dear. Okay, I didn't say unlike you, but God, I wanted to. Her. Go and get me your manager, you rude brat. They should stop hiring kids. Me. Good thing they don't. With that, I took the nachos back into my hands and walked off back towards the register. She still screamed after me about how rude I am and that I should stop right there and listen to her. Called me a bratty kid and a nosy jerk, and then dragged some employee towards her, telling the poor dude to get my manager. The dude looks at me and then looks at her and goes, "She doesn't work here, ma'am." She stared at him in disbelief and then looked back at me standing at the register, getting ready to pay. She was fuming, but I just looked back at her, threw her a peace sign, and went home with my nachos. She probably still believes I work there. Speaking of nachos, what's your favorite flavor of Doritos? Please leave a comment right now letting me know. Next we've got, I do work here. Now go wash the dishes. I manage 3 restaurants. I started as a dishwasher and worked my way up the totem pole. The owner recently retired and just pays the bills. The rest of the operation is on me. I joke around and say the chain of command is God, the owner, me, and then there is everyone else. A year or two ago, a new shift manager had been hired, and when you run 3 restaurants, it's impossible to immediately meet every employee. But anyway, I was in one of the restaurants sitting at my favorite booth, and I heard the new manager talking rather loudly. He was standing next to a server trying to take an order. Now this server has a slight learning disability, but is highly functional. Jerk was standing there in front of the customers saying things like, "You have to be patient, she's slow, I'm helping her as much as I can. Oh, look at you, your uniform is a mess, you need help." He was talking about her apron. "You could get caught and hurt yourself, we don't want you to do that, would we?" Berating her when she asked a customer to repeat their order. I leaned out of the booth I was sitting in and looked at Mary, the server. She saw me and I put a finger to my lips to signal her not to say anything. Mary gave a slight nod, indicating she saw me. I got out of my booth and walked around the kitchen. The cooks and dishwashers said, "Hello, Mr. H. Decided to pay us a visit?" "Not right now." Tony knew by me just saying that something was wrong because we usually exchange banter between each other. "Tony, do me a favor. Tell Jerk Manager there's a phone call in the office and tell Mary her order is up." I walked into the office, sat down, and waited. Jerk came into the office and I saw Mary. Told her I need to talk to her next and to sit in the break room. Jerk Manager looked at me in my street clothes and, "Look, payday isn't till Monday, no advances." "I'm not here for my paycheck." "Oh, you must be here for stock," he said. Me. "No, I'm not here for stock either," I said. "Then why the heck are you in here if you don't work here?" he huffed. "Oh, I work here all right. I am your manager. I only answer to the owner." The penny dropped. "Oh, hi, Mr. H. It's a please to—" "Close the door, now," I interrupted. "I heard what you were saying and saw what you were doing to Mary. You call yourself a manager? How the heck did you get this job?" He said. "Well, Mary is a little—" Me. "A sweetheart who doesn't deserve to be treated like that. Yes, she has a slight problem, but she is one of my best employees and has more heart than you ever will. I am going to give you 3 options. 1, I fire you. 2, you quit. 3, you take a demotion. It's your choice." Jerk said, "How do I know you really work here?" I picked up the phone and made a call to the owner. "Yeah, hey, how are you?" "Yeah, I'm fine. Look, could you tell Jerk who works for you? He doesn't seem to believe me." "Yeah, I know. Have a great day." I handed the phone to Jerk and watched as the color drained from his face. He handed the phone back to me. "Now, about those 3 options. Choose now or I will decide for you." "I'll take the demotion," he said in a low voice. "Good choice. Grab an apron and get on the dish tank." "Dishes? You're making me a dishwasher?" "Yeah, I am. Do you honestly think I would put you in a position over others? If you work hard enough, I might make you a busboy." He stormed out of the office and headed to the dish tank. The dishwashers who were back there were brutal. They considered him as a new hire. I started as a dishwasher and when I started, I got the worst jobs. Jerk was back washing dishes and tried giving them orders. "Okay, boss, we got it." And the snickering began. "What? You believed me? We have more seniority. Now go get the garbage can and clean the filters in the dish tank," I heard Mike say, who's a dishwasher. I called Mary and said, "Mary, are you okay, honey?" And that's when the dam broke. Mary broke down sobbing. "He does that to me all the time. He said if I ever told anyone, no one would believe me because I am a—" No, you are not. Don't let anyone tell you that you are different. And don't ever let anyone make you feel like less of a human. You are just as needed as everyone else. We are all your friends here, and we love you, okay? A slight smile came from her face as she looked at me, nodding her head yes. "Alrighty, now go clean yourself up. Your mascara is running all over. Then go get your stuff and clock out." "Am I being fired? Did I do something wrong, Mr. H?" "No, Mary, you just had a rough day. You will be paid for a full day's work, and I want you here tomorrow. And until your father comes to pick you up, sit back and listen. You might like what you hear. Now go wash your face, okay?" Mary went to clean herself up and returned to the office. We sat and talked, then heard a loud crash of dishes. "Watch this, Mary," I yelled from the office. "That's coming out of your paycheck." And I heard more dishes crashing and heard Jerk screaming, "Forget you! Forget these dishes! Forget these guys! Forget this restaurant! Forget everyone! I quit this job!" I looked at Mary and said, "I don't think he will be back. He seems a bit upset. Or is it just me?" Mary's dad arrived. I told him the situation, and I expect to see her tomorrow. She is a very good, hard worker. I don't want to lose her. And, Mary, go home and relax, and think about the jerk, all sweaty, dirty, wearing an apron washing dishes, and laugh. And remember, you are needed here. Now show up tomorrow, or I will come and get you. And if a manager gives you a hard time, you call me." Mary left with a smile, and as I left, I walked past the dish tank and the dishwashers were sweeping up the broken dishes and laughing hysterically. I don't know what happened to Jerk, and don't care. Speaking of first jobs, what was the first job you ever had? Please leave a comment letting me know. Next we've got Karen orders salad, tells me she doesn't like it, wants a free meal. I manage at a counter service place, a reasonably nice cafe within a park. Customers order and pay, and then we bring the food out to them. Weekends get very busy, but there are plenty of staff to manage those shifts. So today I'm walking the floor and get called over by a lady who has just been served her food, a chicken and avocado salad. She indicates to her plate and tells me that there is a lot of rocket there. Now, the salad is listed as containing chicken, avocado, rocket, pomegranate, and pancetta. It's a nice salad. I have it a lot myself. So I politely point out to the lady that yes, the salad is indeed made with rocket. I thought she might say that she read the menu incorrectly, but she then told me that she read that it came with rocket but assumed it would be a mixed salad. This was quite hard to respond to because what more can a place do than list the ingredients in a dish? She certainly didn't ask while ordering. So I tried to explain that as the meal was exactly as advertised and of good quality, and that it came out in a timely manner, that unfortunately I would neither refund her meal or swap it for something else, but I would take her comments as feedback for a potential menu change in the future. She then told me I had poor customer service and that I could have at least offered her a new meal. At this point, I really started to believe she was entitled, as she was essentially suggesting I should replace her perfectly good meal as well as offer her more. So I stuck to my guns and explained again my position. At this point, she cut me off and took out her phone to start writing what turned out to be a bad review. I actually really pride myself on customer service and get a fair amount of praise from my regulars. I will go the extra mile to help someone find a dish they can eat or fix something that's not quite right, but everyone has to draw a line somewhere. I won't start giving free food out to anyone that won't read. I do have a business to run. Been stewing all evening and trying to shake it off. I think the fact that she called me condescending in her review has really got to me because I did my absolute best to be polite and honest with her. Edit. Thanks for the support and some opposing opinions. I will stick by how I handled it as I believed it is fair for the venue and the country in which I work. I appreciate that at other places it's better to suck it up and give the customer anything they need, but they're not the kind of places I want to work. If you were in this position, how would you have handled the situation? Please leave a comment letting me know. And shoutouts to our Regenerals of the day, Commander Stone, Wolfhelm, and Gamer Girl. Become tomorrow's Regenerals by leaving as many rees as you can in the comments below, and please listen to my playlist every night when you go to sleep.